That's a great way to start.
I can't help. Oh,
All
fuck me.
right.
Oh
I
God.
really hope the audio didn't pick that up. If you are wearing headphones, I apologize because that probably was loud. All right, welcome back to the Wisco Wistys, episode 35. I didn't even say it was the Giannis episode last time because that's 34. I should have said
Yeah, because no one gives a shit about that bum.
that. I feel so bad for him. All right, we're doing this early. I like it. I'm literally still on my figs.
Do you like ranch
I
water?
came, it's not bad. That's what we have in the fridge right now. So I didn't feel like a
They had
beer.
a they had a deal at festival when I was there, and it was like I think it was a 12 pack. It was 12 for 12.
That's pretty
It was
good.
12. And then no, I should say it was $12, and then you bought a 12 pack, or maybe it was an 18. Maybe that's what it was. 18. It was like buck for can, and then you got a free 12 pack.
Damn. The only thing
And I was
about
like,
these is the calorie. There's 140 calories.
that's what mom said.
I
I
was
was
like, I'm
like,
not
why
gonna
don't
have
we drink these? And
too
she's
many
like,
of them.
yeah,
But yeah,
you
they're
don't need
good.
it. Trust me.
No free shout outs. If they want to sponsor, they can sponsor. Um, I don't need it. Fuck you.
You just catch that one.
There's a little delay there. Okay. Episode 35. We are just deep into the NBA right now.
Yeah, there's not. We'll do a little NFL news, and then it's just all NBA all day. So
Okay.
that's all we got going on right now. So
Shoot 'em up.
NFL quickly, schedule comes out tomorrow night. We know some of the
Yeah,
games already.
that'll be
Chiefs
interesting to see.
play Ravens at home to open this entire season, and then they play the Bengals the next week at
Chiefs
home.
Ravens to open the season.
Yep, and then Bengals Chiefs week two. Pretty good matchups right away. They want to get that
Yeah.
Burrow Mahomes in. We
Yeah.
know obviously we know the Packers are Friday
That's a
after the
tough
Chief
start for
game.
the Chiefs. Holy shit.
Yeah, it is. But if you're the Chiefs, you'd rather be the Chiefs in that situation because you have all the time to prep for Baltimore on that up until it, and
Right.
then they have a long week, an extra like a bye week, an extra 3 days
Right. For the
for
Bengals.
the Bengals. So
And you're playing them early in the season. So it's like you're not showing them all your cards. People are still
who
kind of getting shit going. So you can't really take too
Bengals?
much from that game, like later
Yeah,
on in the play, like later on in the season, playoffs, stuff like that. So,
Bengals are notorious for starting slow too.
oh yeah. When
Like,
they didn't they like when they went to the Super Bowl, they were like, or maybe it was a year after or something, they were just
no,
really like,
every
what
year
the
they're
hell?
really slow, and then but they've always played the Chiefs at the end of the year, right when they get into their groove. So I don't
Yeah.
know how
Yeah.
that's going to be. But then the other game is the Monday night opener is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets at the San Francisco 49ers. So they're putting that mother lover back on the field against that team in that situation again, which is just going to be a shit show for him. But
That's funny.
next week we'll look at the schedule. We'll do like our favorite matchups and games to look at and whatever. We're not going to do any predictions or anything. We might predict the Packers off the bat, but no one else.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
the only other thing that we need to talk about NFL wise is Goff got paid 212 for four.
That's
Fucking
unreal.
wild.
Yeah, I can't believe that. How do you pay
That's
that
a
fucking duck thrower that much
so
money?
he's like I think he's second now. He's in like the top five highest paid. If you look at all the like the total years of contract, but if you adjust with Mahomes, he's like top six or whatever. Anyways, he's way up there. So the question is, one, is he worth top 10 money?
No. Well, no.
Well, I mean, okay, so
I'd have to
let's
think, but
just
I
do,
could probably name 10 or
let's
10
name the top
guys.
10 best quarterbacks.
If we do it
Mahomes,
together, yeah, Mahomes,
Allen, Burrow, Herbert,
Lamar,
Lamar. CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
We're at six already.
Mm-hmm. I would
That's a
put
lot.
Love before him.
So now I think these four spots are probably up for grabs here, but you got Dak,
Love
Love,
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah.
And then you start
You could
getting
I'd
into
put
the
we shit on him all the time, but I'd say Brock over him.
well, you could go Brock, you could go Kirk, you
Stafford.
could go Love, but Stafford has to
Stafford.
be in there. So that's seven. So now we only have three spots
Rodgers
available.
if he's healthy.
We don't know about Rodgers, but Rodgers, it's a converse, and maybe one of the
Trevor
rookies this year,
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, but he had a bad year. There's a lot.
Richardson. I mean,
There's a lot,
he might be
isn't
out of the
it?
top 15.
I think the top seven, when you add Stafford in, are pretty set.
That's solid, yeah.
I would probably go Dak eight,
The
like maybe not
Joel
eight, but
Embiid, the Joel
in the
Embiid of the
yeah,
NFL.
Dak eight. I'll put Lawrence in there for nine, and then I'll throw in, I don't know, somebody. Not Goff though. I just don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. So then the
No.
next question goes to this. If Goff's getting 55, 53, whatever it is, how much do you pay Dak Prescott? Because he saw that deal and he just went up to Jerry Jones and said, "Hey, hey, fuck you. I'm better than him. Give me more money." That's what he's gonna say. Do you pay Dak?
I wouldn't.
So then what are you doing at quarterback if you're Dallas?
Starting over. That whole team needs to start over.
I think it's gonna be interesting. So we don't pay him that. If you're the Miami Dolphins and Tua comes up to you and he's like, "Hey, I want that deal. I think I'm just as good." What are you doing?
Mm-mm.
No
No,
fucking chance, right? I'd be
no.
like, "Well, I'll give you more money for this year, but anything after this year, nope,
Yeah.
no chance.
And if he's smart, he'd be like, I'll
I'll
take
take the
whatever I
money
can
now."
get. Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
he
take
should.
whatever I can get.
I would be like, "Hey, you want a $40 million a year, thing, like way under the market?" Sure, I'd lowball the
Right.
shit out of him. And then the last question, and this is what's gonna grind my fucking gears. Jordan Love, what do you pay him?
Oh man, I don't think you can
Because
pay him that much.
is he better than Goff?
Yes.
So
So
he's gonna
technically you should be paying him
he's
more
gonna
than that.
go to Goody and Russ Ball and say, "I want 55, 60 million a year." And that's gonna put him in like the top five paid players. Now, will he get passed up when the cap rises and people get their new contracts? Yeah,
Yeah. Like everything's gonna increase. You know,
correct.
it
Like Josh
happens.
Allen only makes like 42 million right now. He'll jump.
Hmm.
Lawrence will jump. All these guys will just start jumping like they always do, and Mahomes will go up higher again. But
Yeah.
there's going to be a point in time where you're going
How
to pay
high
him
can
that.
we go? Like, is this always just gonna keep going up? Is someone gonna be making 100 million a year at
As
some
long
point?
as the revenue continues, I mean, that's
I
how it
guess.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to plateau eventually if you look at anything
It
economics
has
or
to,
market
right.
share. Yeah, it
Right.
has
It
to.
has to.
So there will be a point, but then that's when they'll probably try to go global, to go on a different tangent to get more market, get more money. But anyways, what do you pay Love if you're offering him right now?
I think
Yearly,
you got to give him a tad over that.
right? And that I
I
hate to
don't
say it,
want to.
sucks.
It
It
does, but I don't
sucks.
want to, but you kind of have to because
You
otherwise
what so
like basically you're saying that he's not as good.
when do you do it? That's the next question.
I would wait till after this year or as
I
far
agree.
as I could after
Into
this
the
year.
season. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't if you see 10 games of last year,
Mm-hmm.
extend them.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But if
The
we
end
go
of
in and
last
it's
year. The end of
yeah.
last year.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Of last year, like the
Yeah.
last 10 games we saw last year and continue into this year.
Because
Fuck.
I would be like, Jordan, we love you. You're our guy and we want you to be our guy.
He has to be there. He's holding the balls.
As a business, we have to make sure that our, you know, um, I don't know what to call it. Our investment in you is solid. And oh, the way we think that you are the guy, but we want to just make sure that last year wasn't a fluke, that you are the guy. We need to see you do this with a whole year of tape against you now. And
Yes.
with a whole another year under your belt, we want to see that second step. We want to see it. And if you show that to us, you're damn right we're gonna pay you what you deserve. If you
If
say it
so
like
there's
that, wouldn't you be like, I mean, you could probably say it better than that, but are along
yeah.
those lines,
You
wouldn't you
you
be
don't want
like,
your
all
asset
right,
to
that's easy.
depreciate, you want to
I can understand
appreciate.
that. If you're Jordan and he's
Yes.
smart, he's a good guy, he'd be like, all right, yeah, I'll show you guys. And
There's two
I would want
schools.
to be in a I would want to be in a franchise that has that kind of relationship. Not someone where
Correct.
I feel like I can walk all over them and not the other way around too, where I feel like they can walk all over me. I want a mutual respect, but holding each other to high standards. Because I think Jordan can do the same thing and be like, I want to be on this team, but I need you guys to help make us successful. I need you to go get players when, we need certain positions. I need
So
you to be aggressive in free agency. I need you to draft good guys.
but
I
think
want
about
to keep
that.
them held accountable too. Because
Think
it
about
should be a
that.
two-way street.
It is, but it's a business and they always cut ties,
You
right?
got to make
So
it seem like it's a two-way street, but in the grand
you're
scheme
all
of
for
things,
you.
the team and the higher ups are gonna make the calls, and they're gonna be more
Correct.
important eventually.
Because to me, he has all the leverage right now because we
He
drafted
does.
him, we went
Hmm.
in and we wanted him,
And he
shipped
knows
off
like
Aaron.
they
He
don't want
knows
to
it.
look stupid. So
He
I
they
have
want him
them.
to succeed. So
Right.
he can go now and say, "Pay me now. I want the money now. It's great to have money now. Give me money now."
Hmm.
Or he could say, "Wait, that's fine. I know I'm going to play well,
Hmm.
and I'm going to hold you over the fucking fire, and you're going to pay me 65 million next year then."
Yeah.
He could do that
It's
too.
either gamble on me now and it's a hair over, what is he making, 53 or something? Over what
Yeah,
Goff's
or
making?
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
A hair over that. Or wait and I'm either not it and you save money, or I am
Which
it and now
which
you owe
they
me a
can't.
shit ton of money.
Correct, because they can't have him
Yeah,
not
it's
be it,
true.
because then they have to.
He could put us in
Goody's
a
gone,
very
right?
difficult position.
He could. And if you we've learned anything, Dak Prescott, Cowboys pay the guy now because it only gets it more expensive. Dak's
Mhm.
price just went up yesterday. Oh,
Right.
go off. I want more money. And
So
if you're
maybe
Love,
so is it a
you
good
gotta.
decision?
That's what I'm
Is it
saying.
a good
That's why
decision just
it's
giving the money now?
if you. I
I
personally
guess
think
it
we.
is if he plays really well.
But you don't know that. But I know that we know, and Goody knows that he's fired if he sucks. So Goody wants to prove
He's
it.
all
He's
in.
right.
He's like, I don't
He's
care.
all in. So
We're
he
doing it.
has to make sure he's good. So I
Yeah.
think he should do it now, anyways, because there's no
Yeah.
chance that we're not going to do it later.
Right.
We're going to do it regardless. So do it now to save the money.
Just talking through this, like as we're doing we came to a conclusion. I feel like that's the right way to do it.
And I
That's
was
the right move.
me. I got to speak to Father because we're on. We've been saying later, and I just totally flipped my own in my own head right now.
No, I think
Yeah.
walking through it like that makes
Uh-huh.
way more sense. When you
Because
really
he's
think about it, it's
because
like you kind of have to do that.
I'm not saying he's going to win MVP, but like we go to the championship game or the Super Bowl, or we're like we're number one seed, and he's like top five in touchdowns and has a kick-ass season. He's going to be like, yeah, I'm a top five quarterback. Give me that money. Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
So I don't know. It's just an interesting conversation. We can cut the NFL talk for now, but I just thought we had to bring that up because it
No,
affects
no,
us greatly.
it's important. Yeah. Cool.
Uh,
All right. NBA time. Where should we start, Cole?
I think we should start in the East because it's the easiest to talk about because we should go pretty quick.
Okay.
So, Pacers even the series. There's a theory that Tom Thibodeau, hibbity boobity, is running his players into the ground, and that's why they're getting hurt now. Like they play
Yeah.
so many
I mean,
minutes.
Hart, I saw a stat. It was the first time he's on the bench all series, and it was like the third game. I'm like,
Okay,
what
I have
the
a
fuck? Are
pet
you kidding me?
fucking peeve though. Now that you bring this up, I'm sorry. I'm watching this game. I watched the last two. You know who fucking called the last two games? I like the guy.
Mike,
Bang!
Mike Breen.
Bang! Mike
Yeah.
Breen. You know who Mike Breen announces during the season when he's not doing televised games?
The Knicks.
The fucking Knicks. He
Yeah.
is so slanted towards the Knicks. If you watch the broadcast, just
Yeah.
notice it now.
If he
He's
is
like,
he a
"Oh,
New
that was
York
a
guy?
foul." Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he got hit really hard, and it's like,
Yeah. I guess I just
no, he
always
didn't.
think of him as like a Golden State guy because he was big during their like championship runs. He was
No,
always
he's a
calling them.
Knicks guy. He calls
But
their
yeah.
regular like Tuesday night games. Like he is so slanted. He's like, man, he got smacked in the face. I can't believe they didn't call that. And then a pacer, it's like Halliburton with three. And I'm like, okay, like what?
Yeah.
Like it's very.
So
And then the
biased.
TNT had Reggie Miller, and he's
Right.
like completely flipped. I'm like, we can't have both of these like
Yeah, it's
who like
obvious.
totally. Yeah, it's so
Obvious.
bad. It
Like
bugs me.
it's one thing if you're watching like the local station. Like if you're watching Bally Sports Wisconsin
Yeah,
covering the
and
Bucks,
Marcus Johnson's
yeah, you
talking.
know
Yeah.
they're going to be pro Bucks, but and then you watch ESPN and no one has any, ties to the Bucks or whoever's playing in there, then it's pretty unbiased. So yeah, like that's too
It
easy. I
bugs
don't get
me.
how they screw that up.
I also have joined your bandwagon. That's the last thing we need to say about this. The series is fun to watch. I hope it goes seven. I really don't care who plays because I think I want to see the Knicks and I want to kick the shit out of the Knicks, but I don't like Pacers, Celtics, Knicks, Celtics, whatever.
Yeah.
Halliburton's bugging me though.
He
Just
sucks, doesn't he?
he hits like one shot and he's like, "Ah," and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like 2-0, man, and you hit a
Yeah.
layup. Move
Yeah.
on.
He's
It's so
so
annoying.
annoying,
And he's
obnoxious.
from the state, isn't he? He went to Oshkosh
Yeah, he's
or
from Wisconsin, I
yeah,
think.
so I should like I'm supposed to be a homer and
Right.
like
I
get the fuck
know.
out of this
Well,
state.
it's
Go to
kind of like
Iowa.
fucking No Limit Hero. Tyler
Oh
Hero is
God,
from
Tyler
Wisconsin, and
Hero's such a bitch.
it was remember when Justin Bieber was getting so much hate when he was like a little teenager, and people from Canada were like, "You can have him. Fuck him. We don't want him." That's how I feel about like Tyler Hero. I'm like, I don't want
Yeah.
you to like associate Wisconsin with this fucking
I
loser.
know. I fucking hate him.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't.
how
He's
I
so
mean.
ugly. I'm right there with you now. I
Yeah,
can't fucking handle him.
he I mean, if he wasn't all talking shit and cocky like that, he's this like 120 pound wink, and it drives me nuts. He's overrated too. He's had like two good games this entire playoffs. That's exaggeration, but he's had games where he's finished like 10 points. I think he averaged like 10 or so points in our series. That might be way off, but
No, he's
still,
horrible.
he's not that good.
He's all over the place. He had
He's
one
all
game
over.
four was good, but I
Yeah.
watch him
He
drive
had
to
a
the
30
lane
point game and then
and like eight.
yeah. Yeah.
He's in the lane and I'm like, shoot the layup, and he's like, and then he just chucks it that way. And he's just this lane. I don't know. I
How
can't
he was an
stand him.
all I mean, he had a good run and then he got hurt, so maybe that's what threw it off, but I don't know. Yeah, not a fan. It doesn't
So
matter though. I think we're both on the same page. It doesn't fucking matter because
no, I
Celtics
think
are gonna beat the Cavs.
well, they choked last night. Mitchell didn't even play, and it's like they're losing at one point. And I'm like, who's on this fucking team? And Jaylen Brown's like, like he doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm like, I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, Paige, what the? I didn't think I'd have to get mad at a semifinal fucking no
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell game, and
Yeah.
he's fucking choking. Brown, you want to know a fun fact? Guess Jaylen Brown's free throw percentage this playoffs.
60 something.
It's like 57. What the fuck? He shoots like 58 from the field
You
and
might as
he's
well
or
be
50 from
Giannis.
field. Yeah.
I'd
I'm
rather
like,
have Giannis at the line.
I watched him doink too, and then he just pulls up from deep and hits this three. And I'm like,
Yeah, how does
what?
that make sense? That's my biggest pet peeve is free
Oh,
throws. How are you bad at free throws?
it should be the easiest
It
thing in the
should be
world.
the easiest thing in the world because you see guys who aren't 3-point shooters, like Obi Toppin, take him for example. Just raw athleticism, can fly. He's above the rim. He's a dunker. He's energy guy. Not the best 3-point shooter. He'll be streaky, blah blah blah. But if you would watch him just warming up, he's hitting like 8 out of 10,
Yeah,
7 out of 10. And that's
yeah,
wild. In game, it's more like 40 is a good three.
yeah. 40 is good from
20
three.
is not good. 30s is like, normal,
Average.
whatever.
Yeah.
So like when you're not being guarded, like these are pros. These guys are really good. A lot of these guys
Some of
can make shots all day, all night when they're not being guarded. So why does that not translate to fucking free throws? It's all
they're
mental. Like, I bet Giannis is like 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10
I feel
in
like they're
practice. And then,
better.
but when the pressure is on and you're in the middle of a stadium and you're down two and you have to hit two to tie it, you know, it is mental. It's gotta
Some
be.
of them are better with people in their face though. Like
Right.
that's a thing too, which is
Right.
wild to me. Like
Yeah.
you're better when someone's like this
I've
instead of
definitely,
nobody.
I mean, I know I'm just an amateur loser, but I've
Clip
def
that.
yeah, shut up. I know, I guarantee, I definitely remember a time where um I just was warming up, before we were playing like rec league and I couldn't hit shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then like 10 minutes later we start playing and I'm hitting everything. I'm like, what the hell? You just
Just the
get in a
flow of the
groove. It's just a
game.
flow of a
Yeah.
game. Yeah. So that's definitely a thing, but it still
I know.
drives me nuts. It should just be muscle memory at this point. These guys shoot
Yes.
so much. I don't
Yes.
understand. You see Dame, you see Curry, like two of the best free throw shooters in the game right now and maybe ever. It's just one dribble or no dribble. It's just put it up there, nothing. They're shooting like 90% all year. They
I
don't
know.
even think about it.
I know.
It doesn't make
It's
sense to me.
upsetting.
That's what
It
drives
bugged
me
me.
nuts. It's your job. You should do it like 20,000 times.
I could have told you would have asked me 2 years ago, is he suck at free throws? I would have said, yeah. So like it's been a problem for a while. I don't know. The
Yeah, I mean,
Celtics,
I give some guys like Shaq or Giannis where you just awkwardly
but
sized and his hands are like,
Wembenyama can make free throws.
right. So,
There's no
I mean,
excuse now.
right. So he's making this a lot harder to make this argument. But you don't know,
Durant,
Carl Anthony Towns was grew up as like a point guard and then he hit a huge growth
Dirk.
spurt. So they get all these like ball handling skills
Joker
early.
shoots like this.
Yeah. So now there's no, you know, elbow in, all
Yeah,
this
you
shit.
could. I just
You
saw
can
a
do whatever
clip.
you want. Lonzo
Remember?
Ball, remember he shot from his left shoulder over? You're
Do
like,
you
what the fuck
Yeah.
is this?
Do you
Yeah.
remember? I remember growing up. Do you remember? I think I asked you about this. Kyrie shoots with the thumb flick.
Yeah, he does both thumbs.
Yeah, and I remember
Yeah.
because
And
I
you're
was
gonna tell
shooting
him?
like that.
Yeah,
I was
you're gonna tell
shooting
him
like
not
that,
to?
and I was like, I remember coaches be like, "That's you're shooting with two hands. You can't do that." And I remember watching the NBA like 5 years later, and he's like, and then I saw a clip on it the other day. They're like the classic Kyrie thumb thick
Yeah.
that he made famous, and I was like, "What?" He just boom, and he's money.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't
mean, you're
know.
gonna tell Kyrie Irving not to shoot
Yeah,
like that?
I know.
And I mean, look at some of the freaking weirdos. Sean Marion, what was that? Remember that? Where he shot from his
This is the
belt?
easiest in 2K. He would
Yeah.
line up to shoot, and you would just stand in front of him. You
And
don't
he'd
even try to
block it.
block. It just
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how did we get
I
off
don't
on
know.
that tangent? I don't know, but
Well, Jalen Brown sucks
um
at shooting. I was just
yeah,
gonna
he
say,
does.
finish it up. I If the Celtics play the Knicks, it's gonna suck because the Knicks are good in close games, and the
And they're
Celtics,
scrappy. Yeah.
yeah, and the Celtics
Celtics
just look around
blow.
and they're like,
They blow
"Oh my
leads.
God, Mason!" They're last night. It's 17 and it flushes to five, and Tatum just holds the ball for 10 seconds, and I'm like, we're just not going to run offense. What
Yeah.
does Dad say? Run the offense.
Yeah.
Run the offense. Like,
Fucking
what are we doing?
throttle.
I
Throttle
know.
down. Don't take your foot
We
off the
just do this
gas.
one
What are
on one,
other
and then guess,
cliches? This is
yeah,
so like I
who
don't get
fucking
it.
fumbles it? I don't
I
know.
don't
It's
get it.
it's frustrating.
It drives me nuts. I mean, I just wish I could be that one coach on the sideline that just talks sense into some of these guys because they are probably like so caught up in everything. You're like, just do what you have been doing
Always of doing to get the lead.
90
Yeah.
games now this year. It's like, what the fuck? I don't get it. But yeah,
Relay that.
Celtics will be fine.
Let's transition into a team that
The
does,
West,
yeah, a
the
team that
Nuggies
knows how to fucking finish, a team that knows how to
make
move.
adjustments. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to talk about, first of all, I mean, they went in there, won a, like, slaughtered them. at the game three, and then game's close, game four, and then they hit a three, get a steal, and then Murray picks it off and hits that half quarter and looks at Kevin Harlan while Kevin Harlan's doing the call, which was just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That they won by 8. That was the game, right? I mean, not the game, but that like changed
It
eight
could have
point
been
swing
it.
in
Yeah.
15 seconds.
If he doesn't hit that, it changes your like strategy at the end of the game when it's closer.
Game. So what do we think? Who do you? I'm not
I
counting
told
them
you
out.
last. I mean, I'm not right very often, but I told you last week or a week before where I'm like, I can't choose the Timberwolves. It makes it easy when they're up 2-0. Obviously.
Aaron Gordon.
I thought the Bucks fucking lost the finals when they were down 2-0. And I'm like, fuck. And then you win two, you're like, oh, look at this. It's the first one to win
Momentum.
two more, you know?
Yeah.
And momentum is a
And
thing.
both
In
are at
these
home, but
seven
does
series
that
games,
matter?
it's 100% a thing. So now when you think of it, I would rather do that. If you know it's going to go at least six, I would rather lose the first two at home and then win the next two away,
Just
going
roll.
back home. So then you hit three in a row. Odds are you'll hit three in a row because you're home. And
If
then even if you lose the game six, you got game seven at home.
I
The
think
the home court advantage is still right there.
I
You
think
just gained it all back.
we always say best team wins no matter what in a 7 game series. If they
Yeah,
win tonight, game 5 at Denver, if Denver wins, I think it's over.
right.
I think it's, and this is why I'm scared as a Celtics fan for that team moving on, because
Because
down 0-2,
now
the
they're going
beast got
through some
awoken. Yeah. And it's
yeah.
like fucking Murray's hitting shots behind the backboard. Aaron Gordon's like 11 for 12. And I'm
You
like,
don't
what the
want
fuck is this?
you don't
I
want
do
a
not
good
want to see
team
Joker.
to hit adversity before they face
No.
you later on. You want to be the adversity that they're facing.
We haven't faced adversity
Yeah.
either.
You
So
guys smoked through the East.
it's
You
like
were
we're playing high
better
school teams.
by
And
like
then they're going to be
12
like,
games. Yeah. And then you're
oh,
gonna hit this
God.
freight train.
What
Yeah, that's
sucks
for
is we've
sure.
hit the Steph Curry freight train, and then we're gonna run into the Joker freight train, and it's like sometimes you're just that team. You run
Hmm.
into the legends of the game, and you got nothing to show, and it
Would you rather be
sucks.
that or would you rather be the fucking Pistons and still be the worst team in the league 5 years in a row and still not get the first pick?
I'd rather be, yeah, I'd rather be in it because at least I know that we were good
It's a
enough
little
that
more
I could
fun.
root.
And when
Yeah,
it all comes down to it, it's entertainment. And like we get so caught up in sports and we obviously have a whole podcast based off it. But at the end of the day, like I don't get too upset about it anymore. I used to get really worked up and like
I
nervous.
get
And
upset.
I mean, in the game or like when you're right there, like, yeah, I'm getting all worked up, but I'm not letting it affect me in my life anymore. I'm getting too old for that. I just know
It
there's more things.
Everything affects my life. I'm on the chair screaming. She's rolling her
Well,
eyes
yeah,
at
you got to give
me.
me an hour or a day or two,
It's
you
a
know?
disaster.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started in the playoffs. But the
I will
I
say I cannot say enough good things about Anthony Edwards.
He needs
I'd give my
help.
left nut for him to be on the
He needs
Bucks.
help, doesn't he? Cat is like this, and
I would give
Gobert
so much
blows.
for him to be on the Bucks. And it's not just like his numbers. He puts up 40 and they lose. It's the eye test. I mean, he is just so smooth, so athletic, so skilled. He does a crossover, boom, 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 flies up there, yams. I'm like, was that Michael Jordan?
We
Holy shit.
we
Unreal.
we should do a draft. I don't know if we've done this, of like most untouchable players, or like who you would never trade, because
Yes, that's a good one. And just do
he
like
is
three
right
each or
there.
four each,
Yeah,
because then you
he
can be
is,
like, oh, is he more untouchable than Giannis?
because he
Maybe,
might not
because
be
he's
better,
older,
but
whatever.
his
Yeah. You
age.
got to take
Yeah,
all that into account. Yeah, we
yeah,
should do that. Draw that
yeah,
up coming
yeah.
up here. All right. So that's the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Um, I'll be honest, I haven't really been watching the OKC Mavs series. But it's tied.
Watched. Yeah, I watched those first three, and then last night, so I didn't really get a chance to see. I watched highlights, and the Mavs choked that away. He missed free throws down the stretch, and they should have won the game.
Okay.
Like, so I don't really know who is the better team. Like, it's hard to watch this and be like, they should win, and I don't think it's gonna matter
Yeah.
for the next round. So it's just
No,
kind of a
I don't
quick.
either. I think it's kind of inevitable.
Yeah,
Denver, Celtics. Yeah. But
that's all I have to say
hopefully
about
we'll get
it.
some entertaining games here. Or maybe prove us wrong. That'd be cool. I just love seeing new teams starting to hit their stride. I feel like every team needs to go through this though. Like it's very rare that you're gonna get someone just out of the blue, like OKC or Minnesota, and they just go all the way, win it, or even get all the way.
They
You know,
don't. Yeah,
they don't.
teams that young don't win.
You have to make a push one year and then fall short, and then the next year maybe you get there. Like usually that's how it works. NFL is different because you just get hot and all of a sudden boom, you're there. You
It's
know,
one
one
game,
game, move on.
single
So
elimination. Yeah.
this is more building blocks because it's 7 game series and better team usually wins.
The
Yeah.
Thunder have like 12 draft picks in the next 5 years too, so they should probably use some of those on a
Yeah.
star and help SGA out a little bit. Because
Cool.
Chet ain't it. I'm just
He's
saying.
so skinny, man. It's like, what the hell?
Now we're moving
Eat,
to
buddy.
NBA uniforms.
Yeah. Okay. So let me share my screen here. I found this really cool website. I sent it to you too. Um, all right. Are we sharing the screen?
Yeah, I see your yeah.
Yeah. Can you see I'm on the website here?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look at my 5 favorite, not just uniforms like specific uniform, just teams with like overall the uniforms that I like the most. Um, so I got 5 of my favorites and then 5 of my least favorites. So NBA is very classic. There's not anything too crazy, and that sometimes goes a long way. Sometimes it's very boring. So a lot of teams like Boston, New York,
Boring.
LA,
Boring.
all
Boring.
boring. The Bulls try to switch it up with, the little triangle thing right here.
Boring.
But it's nothing special. So my favorite ones are a little more recent and just do some a little bit different, you know. So my 5 favorites are the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'll go through
Stripes.
my Memphis Grizzlies, my Milwaukee Bucks. I don't mind the oh shit, sorry. Minnesota, a little bit different. Um, a more classic but just clean one. Where are they? Miami, and then Portland. I like Portland's. So starting with the Grizzlies, this is such a cool website because it basically goes through all of it, but it's only for people like me that actually care about this shit. Um, they're they're old ones with like Zach Randolph. Those were bad.
I
That's
like
like,
their colors.
yeah, it's just 2000s. The color scheme goes a long way. So that's another reason why I like a lot of these. They look good. These were okay, but the ones that they have now, um, where are we?
You're all over the
I know
place
I'm
with this
all
fucking
over.
thing. Giving me fucking motion sickness.
Um, why don't they have the ones that we literally just saw on the first page?
Just scroll all the way up, fool.
No, these are like 19 something. These
It's right
were,
there.
there we go,
Right there.
present. Yeah.
2022. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the, why I just don't go dark. I like the asymmetry. So you have a stripe on one side and you have the logo on the other side. I think the font is cool and they stick with it must be something, important to Memphis or whatever. But I like how the Grizzlies on this side and the stripes are on this side. Color scheme is great. I love everyone loves these old school, like the Vancouver Grizzlies. It's just it gives like um Toronto Raptors,
I like the logo.
yeah, it gives those old school vibes. So
I
I
don't
don't
like the
mind what they
color.
did. Yeah, I don't mind what they did with like There's
2012. What
city.
the fuck happened then? A yellow uniform? What the fuck is that?
So I like the sim like there it's simple, but it's also doing something a little bit different here. All right, my Bucks. You got to get rid of
Purple.
the red
Purple,
and the
baby.
red and
Purple.
green. This ain't Christmas, but I do love the Irish stripes on the side. So this is what we have now. Um, Irish flag or Irish uh rainbow on the sides where you just a boom boom boom. Love that. I wish we incorporated a little more blue because I like the blue on our uniforms and the black, but it is what it is. Keeps it simple. It's kind of cool. We have arguably the best uniforms in the league in our black ones. These, the statement jerseys,
They're
arguably
sick.
arguably the coolest
Those
ones
are
in the
with the,
league.
with the Jordan logo on it
Yeah.
too. It's
I mean, you
fucking
get you get a
awesome.
little blue in there, you get a little green in there, but it's the horns on the side. Like we wore I also love these. These are our last year's city uniforms, the blue ones with the Irish rainbow going up the side. Um I hated those where they just mix all the different fonts and different stripes from different years. Hated that. These are sick. I have a Giannis jersey with these where they have the stripes going across. Loved these. Not the biggest fan of those. Not the biggest fan of those cream cities, but hated those.
Oh, oh,
I liked
God.
I liked these cream cities. Basically
Horrible.
the different black version of it. Unless you were a white guy, these look great on you because you're like the black guys that it pops. If you're a white guy, you just look washed out. It looks horrible.
Why do you have long sleeves
Whoops.
on?
Yeah, why is he naked? Um, why does it keep going back? I'm sorry, I'm not maneuvering very well through this. But yeah, I love our uniforms. Very simple with small like things on here. These were like the first black ones that we did. Those were sick with just the face on there. Old school ones like these are cool.
Love
So
that.
we have a really good. They don't have the green ones. When we won, we had the green version of these. Oh, there we go. Right here.
Right there.
These are
Yeah.
sick. I fucking love those. I can't find one of those anymore, and I wanted one so bad. They're so fucking cool. Um, so I love the Bucks, obviously. Minnesota. These are a little different. You don't see a lot of teams with doing stripes like these. They're wearing these like old school ones now as like a throwback, but these are like the KG. I just think of Kevin Garnett for these. It's too like cartoony for me. The logo and the font, it's too cartoony. These just make me think of Zach Levine. But these that they have right now,
Yeah.
right? You just get
Yeah, it
those.
does.
Yeah, these that
Yeah.
they have right now, it's hard to do like the what?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, tell Alexa to shut the hell up.
That was a special guest sitting over there and just totally ruined the entire podcast. Keep
Nice.
going.
Thanks, Paige. Um, the horizontal stripes are hard to do. One of the teams that I think has the worst uniforms, Washington, try to do something like this and it just doesn't work. I also just like the Wolves color scheme too. It's similar to the Grizzlies, where you have the dark blue, you have the lighter blue. They throw a little like lime green in there, but yeah, I think they're very clean, very simple, but a little more, up to date. Not a big fan of their city jerseys this year. I don't really get that the water stuff on there, but the lime green ones kind of reminds me of the Seahawks. Don't like that. They haven't had very good alternate ones. Maybe these are okay, but it's kind of plain.
Purple, baby.
Yeah, the purple's kind of weird for Prince, but they have got solid uniforms. Now we got Miami. These are just classic, man.
I love Miami's. The black and white, the red and the white, the black
Yeah,
and
they have a different
red.
red too. It's not like a, hot rod red. It's like a deeper maroon almost. And the striping is just clean. It's simple. It's consistent throughout the whites and the reds and the blacks.
Back with
Um,
LeBron, they
it's
had
just
a all,
LeBron and D Wade,
well
vibes.
the white out, the
One of
black
the
and
best uniforms ever created. They did a lot of this shit,
yeah,
the blackout, whiteout because of LeBron, because they were, Christmas Day uniforms and shit like that. S- Maybe one of the best
Miami
uniforms
Vice.
ever made. These black ones, just beautiful. People were like, they should just change their colors to Miami Vice colors, black, white, pink, and this light blue. And honestly, they should. I
It's
mean, these
cool.
are so fucking cool. Just the uniforms, the whites are great, the blacks are great, the blues, sure. You know, these, nah, I didn't like these.
Mm, that looks
Gradients are
like a
hard.
gradient, like
Gradients are
a
hard to do. There's only one gradient one that I liked
that looks like a child
ever.
put that together. Is that real?
Yeah, that's probably some like what does it say? 75th anniversary. Yeah, it's dumb. But Miami, solid as hell. Portland, another
I don't.
asymmetrical one. A lot of classic look to this where it crosses over here and then goes down the. You don't like these?
I these are so average to me.
Well, it's the NBA. You don't have a lot. Obviously, they haven't changed in a while, so it's just very classic. But I think like these are sick.
Those are
The
good. The
all red with the
Ultimates.
black, those are sick. Um,
Not a fan of Rip City. I don't give a fuck about Rip City,
yeah,
but
these are atrocious. These are sick. I thought they had a all black with the red, kind of like this, where no white in there. Um, Maybe I'm mistaken.
I just think of
I feel
Damian
like you
Lillard when I
could
see
do
that
that though.
all
You could
white.
do all black and then have like basically the exact opposite of this one. All black and then the red
Sure.
stripes with like the gray and the red name and number. But I like the asymmetry, then the logo over here. It's cool. So those are my favorite ones. You can get classic. I mean, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the new ones that they have are kind of cool because they're just monochromatic or they don't have any white. I kind of like that, where it's just their colors. They have, the burgundy. They have like these are the most plain ones ever when they won the championship. These they were doing too much. These are cool. Those are simple. I don't know if I like the calves right here, but those are cool. They kind of look like G League uniforms though, so that's why they didn't make it for me. Classic, classic, classic. These are okay, but it's just nothing special. All right,
Which ones do you hate the most?
ones that I hate. The
Rack them
Jazz.
off. I like the throwbacks. The
These
mountains
are
are
so
awesome.
cool. These are
Yeah.
classic. They got to bring these back. Even these
I was
were
gonna
okay.
I was gonna get a Karl Malone one until I found out he was a pedophile, and
Yeah,
then
why would you get that?
I got
This makes me
Kobe
think
rapist, but not that
this
one.
makes me think of what's the
Darren
dude?
Williams.
Darren
Darren
Williams. Yep.
Williams.
And
Boozer.
Andre Kirilenko
And
and
Boozer,
Boozer.
yeah.
This makes me think of Gordon Hayward.
Yep.
But these, what the fuck are we doing here?
They're a
They're like, yeah, our
transition.
colors are black and lime green now. And you're like, what? I didn't like when they did oh, we're green and blue and yellow. It's like, okay, you got to pick up two primary colors or something that goes together, not like two dark colors that are your colors now. These are the only gradient ones I've ever liked. These are kind of cool.
I'm just not a
Red
fan of those.
rocks.
I thought
No,
they were
or is
like
it the black ones? I think it was the black ones. These are
those are
better.
better.
These are better because it's
That
not
one
the
reminds
full
me of
thing.
Phoenix. I think of the Suns.
Yeah, but I mean Utah is right next to Arizona, so
Thanks.
kind of. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's all west, and there's Red Rocks, whatever.
We're right
Dallas.
next to Australia. What are you talking
There's
about?
three in a row here. Fuck you. Dallas, they're just all over the place. It makes me think of the old Cardinals uniforms where they just have these lines going anywhere and they don't really have stripes. You're like, what are
I
what
think
what
of
do we have?
Jason Terry with those green
Yeah,
ones.
they're just so bad. I do not like them.
Yeah, they're
You
they're
need to just
boring.
pick a design. I'm like,
Yeah.
now they're wearing these, they got like black in them. I'm like, you're navy and now you have black. That's so clashing to me. I know navy and black technically match, but they're just so close. I feel like they don't match. I don't like them. They're just not my favorite. They need a total rehaul. Clippers, I don't like them either. That's three in a row. They are just like Chris Paul. It's the same thing. It's the really skinny stripes. It's the really lazy logo. It's all the above. These are the grossest things I've ever seen. What am I playing? GTA? You know,
Yeah.
this a kid literally wrote clips and that's
I
what
was
they
gonna say
used.
it's
I'm dead
bad.
serious. Like that's what they did. And I'm like, these are so bad. Not a fan of those.
Who likes children? Get them out of here.
Yeah. Okay, two more. Washington, we kind of already talked about. The Bullets, then people were getting shot and they're like, we got to change the name. Um,
Jordan. I think of Jordan with the blue.
I kind of liked these colors better. Everyone has red, white, and blue. Can we be a little more
But they're
creative?
Washington. They have to be.
Yeah, if anyone should be, it's them. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, Pelicans, stop it. You know, the Patriots. I mean, think of all the football teams, all the NBA or MLB teams. There's so many red, white, and blues. It's stupid. Um, these are kind of cool because it's just a simple logo with the, homage to it being DC, the capital. But those are like maybe the only ones I'm okay with. This is way too much writing on it. This, I don't even know what the fuck that is. They just don't do the if you see this jersey, you're like, which are you home or are you away? There's so many colors up here, like you can't even tell. It's just too much.
I agree.
Stripes all
Marcin
over, shit
Gortat.
all over.
Gortat.
It does make me think Gortat. So not a fan of them either. And then my last one, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but
The Nuggets.
yeah, I'm not a fan of the Nuggets. This they went through a little gay phase, I guess, in the
Right,
90s.
baby. I like the light blue, powder blues.
I like this color scheme better, but that's literally what the Pelicans are right now, the gold, navy, and red. I think that's a good color scheme. Carmelo, obviously. But these to me, you could do so much better with these.
Yeah,
The
there's nothing
white trim
special.
on the blue ones, it's just you could
I don't
have
think they're
red
bad
right
though.
here. You could have red right here.
I
Use
would
your
argue these
colors.
are
Use your
better
colors.
than Portland. Portland's are worse than
No.
these. Yes.
They have such a cool logo. Put this logo front and center. Don't even have nuggets on there. Have this logo right here and then the number underneath. Make it cool. There's so much more you can do with it. Those are my best and worst. NBA is tough because it's like they come out with so many new uniforms and you're like, oh, those are great, and then they're gone. Like the Bucks green ones that I love. I wanted a Drew Holiday jersey in there, and I couldn't. The only one I could find was like extra small. I'm like, well, what the fuck? So you gotta, if you like them, get them because they might be gone. Like the Celtics right
I
now, do they have oh no, they have a white one. Yeah, they're just eh.
boring.
You can't have black
Um,
uniforms unless you have black in your regular uniforms too.
we definitely need that website for NFL though. That would be very helpful during the season.
Yeah,
So
there
find
is
one.
there is a NFL one that shows you matchups every week. It changes it. Gridiron something where it shows this is what they're wearing this week and this is who they're playing and it shows. How do I do that? I was doing
You
this.
just you just did this.
This? We gotta find out
Oh,
what all
that's
these are.
hilarious. Okay, with
What
that
the fuck?
celebration,
Yeah.
we're moving on. We're gonna finish here with a we always have to do a draft. So we're going to do a draft and we're going to continue because the Austin Rivers conversation just kept going last week after we talked about it. Everybody, obviously, because we
Yeah.
talked
I
about it,
mean,
everyone
and they're
talked
going back
about it.
and forth now on Twitter and shit.
Yep, it was all over the place. So we're going to draft which sport has the best athletes. So I think it's very subjective on what you determine as best athlete.
I think there's three sports that are right out of the gate going to be some of the ones you want to get right away. And then after that, it drops hard.
Correct. So
Do you have trivia to find out who goes first?
I do have one thing here. They're I'm just trying to bring it up quick. There's ways that people have determined to measure
Athleticism.
athleticism,
That's
you
one of the
know.
things you have to define how we're defining athleticism because that is subjective too.
Well, that's part of the draft though. So I want there this what is athleticism? The 10 components of athleticism. There's layers. They have it as layer 1, layer 2, and then layer 3. So I'll read you the first two and then you have to guess. There's one, two, three in layer 3, which is the most important, the peak of the pyramid. You have to guess 2 out of 3. And if you
All
get
right.
it, you go first. First layer is mobility, stability, balance, and coordination. The base layer of an athlete. The next,
Mobility, stability.
balance, and coordination.
Okay. Yes,
The
I would
next
agree.
layer is strength and aerobic capacity.
Okay.
And then the final layer, you have to guess. That's your cue to speak.
I'm thinking.
We don't got all day here.
That was 3 seconds. I'm gonna look when I'm editing this to actually find out how long it was, and that was not that long. Um, how
I
many
thought you
things
froze,
are in it?
honestly. There's five, and I said you got it. Or there's three, and you got to get two.
Explosiveness,
Yeah, be a little more like I'll give it to you, but
fast
if you
twitch, or like jumping ability.
agility and anaerobic capacity is one of them. So you want to roll that into that? We can take
Sure.
that.
Anaerobic capacity.
Anaerobic. The second layer was
Okay.
aerobic.
Speed,
Yep, that's the second. That's the other thing, speed, and then the other one is power, which is very similar to
power.
strength,
Yeah,
but
but there's yeah.
slight difference. So it's power, speed, agility, and anaerobic capacity. We don't need to go into the definitions for the people because we don't
Yeah.
care.
Okay.
So you got that. You can go first pick then. 4 rounds.
Um, okay. I think I'm gonna go football,
Number one.
number one. American football, not
I
that.
was gonna say soccer. You little
Yeah.
bitch. Um, I that's okay.
I mean, we've been having this argument like, oh, I was gonna say NBA because I do think those guys are that's the
Don't
type of
take
athlete I want to
don't
be.
take my picks
I
here.
know,
Let
I'm just
me.
telling you how, my thought process because I know you're probably gonna pick them next.
I'm
Um,
not.
ooh, good. I want to be an NBA athlete. I want to be tall. I want to be lean. I want to be able to jump. That's the type of
I
athlete
think
I want to be.
I
Those are
think
they're
football
explosive.
athletes are the
But I think
second or
right.
third
But
best
I think there's
athletes.
such a variety of athleticism in football. That's why I picked them because you get the strong power guys in the
But
trenches, but they're not as
the quick
agile.
t
But
the
then
quick twitch on the
you get
outside
those
and
guys
the
on the outside
speed,
in
yeah.
the receivers and the skill position. So I think as a
Hmm.
whole, that's probably the best. They have the best athletes there. We're talking
I'm
about
gonna
it right now.
take
Like we think more football guys can play basketball than vice versa. So
correct. I'm gonna take hockey.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Yeah, it's basketball on ice. Like
No,
you have
it's
to.
not.
It is. You have to
No,
be,
it's
or
not.
football on ice. Call it
No,
that then.
it's not.
It is. You have to be strong,
Right.
quick,
Yeah.
in between the trenches, agility, as you call it, but hand-eye is huge. It's fast-paced.
Hmm.
I'm taking ice hockey.
Yeah. I mean, it's just to me, it's just such a niche. Like I've seen hockey players run on ground, and I'm like, they're not,
You can't use
it's
that
such a
though, because
niche. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because
I've seen
the
football players
majority of
try to hit a
sports,
baseball and
the
they can't hit a
majority of sports
baseball.
include running and, catching and
But
throwing. So
it's a
it's like,
bad argument. It's a
it's too
bad
niche for
argument.
me to be like they're the best athletes. I think
Football
athleticism
is niche.
encompasses a broader range of activities. Being on skates on ice with a stick and a puck is so niche.
Being
Football
on
and
with
basketball, you
pads on
both
and
run and
cleats
and soccer you all
with
run.
cleats
And
and pads and catching a football.
baseball you're running. So those four main sports are running involved. Hockey, there's no running involved.
They're skating. Skating's
It's
harder
not the
than running.
same.
It's
It's
harder than
harder,
running.
but that doesn't mean you're more athletic.
I mean, based off of the triangle I just wrote to you or talked to you about, the speed, agility, anaerobic capacity, and power, and then strength and aerobic capacity. I'm looking at a ESPN.com ranking too, where
So
they
let me ask you this
degree of
question. I'm
difficulty.
just thinking out loud here. Let me ask you this question. Would you be more impressed with someone who can play multiple sports, not including hockey? Like they're really good at football, basketball, baseball. Like they're pro level athletes at those three. Or two, maybe. Just say two. Would you be more impressed with that or someone who's just a pro at hockey? Someone who has the abilities to play a more than one game off the ice versus one person who can play one game on the ice. Really good at it. Say they're average pros at
So
those
you
two
it's
and
pretty
they're
much
really
saying
good, like the best hockey player ever
Bo
on the ice.
Jackson
Right.
football. Well, I'm going to take the person of two sports over one,
Because
but it's
their
two
athleticism
sports.
encompasses more things
No,
than
I'm going
just
to
that
take,
one niche thing.
I'm just, it's not, you could pick baseball and fucking lacrosse or whatever the fuck the sport is, and then put football. I'm going to take the two sports. If you can play two sports professionally at the highest level,
And I'm
especially
telling
like
you,
those
I don't
sports,
think a lot of hockey players can do that.
crossing sports is literally the Austin Rivers conversation, and it's not a thing because these guys
But what
start down a
crosses,
path and they
but
don't
the things
do
you're
anything.
listing in the triangle cross multiple sports.
Yeah.
So that is a good argument because you're picking the things that a triangle makes
I
up.
think hockey
I'm
players
just
can
waiting
do
for
it
something to
all.
pop up on here while I'm making all these
I
symbols.
think hockey players can do it all.
But they
In
can't.
the triangle, they are doing everything in the triangle.
Within their triangle. Explosiveness on the ice, power and speed on the ice.
But you can say that about grass on the court, on the tennis court, on the
But you
fucking
can't, you
beam,
can
in
run
the
on
ring. You
grass
can do
and you can
whatever.
run on a court and on a
But it's not
field.
the same. Running on a court
But
compared
it's
to running on grass is
similar.
different.
It's
Running on
similar.
grass compared to turf is different.
It's similar. Yeah,
What
you
are we?
don't have, you have cleats in one and shoes and regular shoes in the other. Okay, that's the difference.
Huge
The
difference.
difference, not huge, huge, is fucking running on land versus skating on frozen water. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, what's harder?
Cole, it you're not comparing apples to oranges. That's
Neither
what
are
I'm saying.
you.
But that's all I'm saying is it's such a niche
Well,
sport.
you are
You
comparing
can't
apples to
be.
oranges. I'm comparing apples to apples. That's what I'm doing.
No, you're not. That's such a niche sport. I don't see how that can be the most athletic.
Every sport's a niche sport. Every
No,
sport is so focused.
it's
There's no
focused, but there's a
think about, but
general
you got to
thing
think
that
about
you
it this
do.
way.
You run, you jump, you throw, you catch, whatever.
You got to think about it this way
You
though. Like
kick.
the whole football basketball argument, okay? Everyone they can't do X and Y, right? That's the whole
Right.
argument, back and forth. Why? Because football players are in such a niche idea of how they
The
are for
design of the
athletes,
game
and
acquires
so are basketball players.
a more diverse
Just look at
athletic like
correct. Just look, but
person.
look at basketball and football. A basketball athlete is niche. You have to be long
Well, yeah, you
and
like
be able to
yes.
run
Every sport
long
has
versions.
their like specifics to get to that sport. I'm saying
Are you
the ones
arguing
on
against yourself
land,
then?
like we're not even on the same body of earth.
It doesn't matter.
They're on land, they're on
Every
water.
sport takes place in different areas,
Right, but
in
the
different
main
settings.
ones, there's how many sports aren't played on solid ground? Like
There's a
three,
lot. There's a
hockey
lo-
and swimming. And water polo, that's in water. What
But
else?
what is it? The ground is different for all the other sports that are on solid
But it's
ground.
all running. You're running. It's such
Not
a
in every sport.
What other sports aren't you running in? Hockey's the only sport you don't run in. You skate, you
There's sports,
glide.
there's 1,000 sports you don't run in,
What?
but you're
Okay.
moving on solid ground.
Hockey or sorry, ping pong, golf. Are those
Do
even
you
sports? We can argue if those are even
do
sports.
you run in boxing? Because I don't think you run in boxing.
I don't know.
And
Is boxing a sport?
boxing's one of the hardest sports. Take your next fucking pick.
Boxing is just fighting.
Take your next
Fighting is
pick.
a sport.
I looked up a list. We can just do this. ESPN highest degree of difficulty sports ranking. You know what number one is?
Boxing.
Boxing.
I don't know if that's a sport, Cole.
How is boxing not a sport, Mason?
It's fighting. Anyone can
You
just fight someone on the street.
we just it's not
It's
a sport,
organized
or it's the
aggression.
highest at
It's
athletics. We're
organized
talking about,
aggression.
how is it not a sport? Or are we talking about
I mean,
athleticism? I'm talking about athleticism,
I know, but we're going down a different thing here.
but sport is, it's definitely a sport. Anything's a sport. I can make anything a sport.
Track and field, we argued this. I don't know if track and field's a sport.
Track and field's a sport.
I don't know
Me
if it
throwing
is.
Paige off the bridge every Friday night could be a sport if
Is
I put some parameters around it.
is
That's a
fucking
sport.
bocce ball a sport?
Yeah, everything can be a sport.
I think there's I almost spilled my drink. I think
Fucking
there's
athleticism is different, and boxers are conditioned athletes. Strength, agility, hand-eye. Oh, I need to know how to throw a fucking punch. They have
yes,
to go anaerobic and
toughness.
aerobic.
I get
Toughness.
that. But
How
I'm
so like
thinking, I guess I'm just thinking organized sports or team sports more. Like that's a completely, I don't think it's in the same category. I don't think you can put it in the same category. I think you can put it in individual sport.
we're just talking
Golf would be
sports though.
there,
We're just talking sports.
whatever.
Golf's not a we're talking about athletes. That's like, you really want to get into that?
I
Like,
mean,
give me
they're
a break.
conditioned,
Oh,
they work
walking
out, they're
stuff.
skilled.
So we're calling walking a workout now.
If we're calling running a workout,
Subjectivities, subjective. That's two different things.
that's my whole argument is this is
Golf
so subjective.
is
This is so
correct.
subjective.
So take your next pick and let's end this fucking
Okay. I'm
goddamn
going
drama.
basketball. I mean, those guys can jump out of the roof. They're conditioned. They run like crazy, like gazelles. They're lean, mean fight machines. They're not
Yeah.
as strong or as
I'll
tough as football players, but they're the next best ones.
I'll take boxing for the exact reason I just said. And now I'm really interested to see where the next two picks for both sides go, because now we get in a real
We go
dodgy area.
4 rounds.
Yep.
Oh man.
This is tough.
I think you have to argue sport because we're picking the best athletes. What sport has the best athletes? So we have to decide what a fucking sport is.
All, do you want me to look up the definition of sport?
Yeah,
Sport,
please.
an activity involving physical exertion, involving a team or individual competing against one another. So, like I said, I throw Paige further off the bridge than you throw Allie
It's a
off the
sport.
bridge. It's a sport.
All right. I was wrong.
I'm just saying, it's so stupid of how you can just make anything anything. That's
I
all
know.
I'll
I
say.
think that's dumb. I might catch a lot of heat for saying boxing's not a sport, but you know what? Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
It definitely is. Pick next,
Um,
make next two. So I don't know where I'm going. I'll just be
I
honest
have
with
no
you.
idea. I mean, I don't.
I actually do.
I'll
I know.
say I gotta get another big one. I'll say baseball.
That was my pick if you weren't going to take it. Because
Because either that
hitting
or
100
soccer.
mile an hour
That's
fastball,
my whole argument. Like, what's the hardest thing to do in sports? No one can hit a fucking 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Give me like a whole year to try to hit a home run.
side
I
note,
will never.
Why is it so hard to hit a fucking tiny ass ball off a tee then? No. Like I think I could I'd rather like
Yeah,
what the
Cole,
fuck,
if
man?
that's not a sport, let's see you play it.
It definitely isn't.
But my logic is
If you're going
so
with
backwards if I
that,
think golf is and boxing
yeah, I
isn't.
know. That's why I'm trying to
I'm just
um
playing devil's advocate. Relax.
I'll go fuck, I got nothing.
Trying to stir the pot here.
Tennis?
All right. Yeah,
Like,
you gotta. I
the
mean, you
back and
never see a
forth. You
fat
gotta
tennis
have
player.
no, you gotta have power. You gotta be able to,
Yeah, back and
hand
forth.
eye and yeah, I'll do tennis.
Yeah.
Last one.
Oh God, now we're just grasping at straws. I'll go soccer, sure.
That
They
dumbass
run
sport.
all day. It's a dumb sport, but they run all day and they have to do all that shit with their feet
Yeah.
instead of their hands.
What's listed on this list is
Foot
wild.
eye
Rodeo.
coordination.
Rodeo.
Yeah, I mean, surviving being on a
Pole
horse or
vaulting. Who
bull's
does
back,
that?
that's hard, but is that a sport? No. Sorry, Paige. Track is not a sport.
Yeah, track. Who does pole vaulting, speed skating? I'm gonna say, I don't know, you help me. I was gonna say lacrosse or volleyball.
I mean, I just think about Tosh. Um, Swimming, that's in the Olympics.
The
What,
thing
that
you
thing we do instinctively was
instinctively do
before we
before you.
die?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna take. What do you think, lacrosse or volleyball? Volleyball, you got to be long in certain spots. Got to be able to get down, get up. Explosion like that.
I
Lacrosse,
don't
you got to have
know.
hand eye and you're a little
And you're getting
physical. You're
hit.
running.
It's a
I'll
small
take.
ball you got to throw.
I'll
I'd say
take
lacrosse.
lacrosse.
Yeah,
I'll
I would
take
probably pick
lacrosse.
that.
They're good athletes.
Yeah. And everyone's
Okay.
gonna get so worked up if they hear us bums talk about this, but it's like I'm not good at any of these sports, so just relax. We're talking hypotheticals here. We're just stirring the damn
Boxing's a
pot.
sport.
I don't know.
Okay,
I think there's
good.
an argument for it not being a sport. I'm just saying. I don't have it
I
prepared,
know you don't.
but if I prepare,
There's
watch out.
definitely not, but
If
okay,
a fucking
goodbye. See you
YouTuber can do
later.
it, then
Yeah.
all right. Bye. Love you. Bye.
Yeah.